Good morning, everybody, and I hope that you can hear me and see me. I am live. I am in the right place, I think. My name is Rebecca, and I'm a holistic health coach and a homeopath. And I just pop in here every Monday to give you a message for the week in the form of a thought, an idea, a simple practice, something to help you to become more conscious of the things in your life that are helping you to feel as healthy as possible, or conversely, the things that might not actually be contributing in a positive way to your life. So you're very, very welcome if you're joining me live, and you're equally welcome if you're watching the replay. And as ever, I would welcome your comments in the thread below this video, so don't be shy. Okay, today is in Ireland. It's Bank Holiday Monday. It's the May bank holiday here, and it's pretty wild and stormy outside. Stark contrast to yesterday, which was beautifully sunny. Cold wind, but beautifully, beautifully sunny. And I'm just noticing actually that I'm a bit sun-kissed around the nose and the cheeks. I had an absolutely wonderful day being taken around North Kerry by my lovely friend Pauline Russell, who is just an amazing Qigong and Tai Chi teacher, apart from anything else, but also very knowledgeable about the whole of Celtic history, and in particular, she was taking me around some of the old monasteries and churches in that area, but predominantly the wells, the ancient wells of North Kerry. North Kerry generally is an area that I don't know, just not an area that I've been to very much. So it was absolutely wonderful to be introduced to it properly by somebody who really knows it and really appreciates it. And I was struck by each well has a different affinity with curing certain ailments in areas of the body. So one well was all about eyesight and vision, and another was, I think, about different organs of the body. So it depends, and there's lovely stories attached to why that is the case. But I was struck by the number of people who were coming to the wells for those curative properties. And also, actually, the fact that I was out on a Sunday with my friend Pauline, rather than being out with my husband, was kind of unusual, because usually we spend Sundays together doing something. But he's absolutely exhausted yesterday and wanted to spend time tinkering with his beloved vintage motorbikes. And I was just chatting to him before I left about how much care he takes of those bikes, even though many of them are very old now, and they look beautiful. They're stunning, they're gleaming, they're glowing. He polishes them, he maintains them, he runs the engine, he makes sure they have all the right fuel and the right oil, and he takes parts out and makes sure that they're all running as they should. So in essence, those bikes are actually as good as they were when they came off the production line, however many decades ago. And that, coupled with what I was witnessing at the wells, just really made me remember how wear and tear is received in most of our consciousness, that we tell ourselves a story that's been planted in our consciousness, that when we get older, that means that things start falling apart. That means that inevitably we don't work as well as we used to, that our brains start slowing down, that our joints get stiff, that, there are certain things that we just go, yeah, getting older now. And I wanted this week to encourage you to, first of all, be conscious of how many times you are telling yourself that when you experience some kind of physical discomfort, or perhaps, memory block, can't remember something, going into a room going, what did I come in here for? Anything like that, or perhaps needing more sleep or less sleep, all those kind of things. Anything where you tell yourself, oh, that's because I'm getting older. And I wanted to just remind you of my husband's motorbikes and actually introduce the idea that, yes, we are all getting older. That is absolutely inevitable. There's not much we can do about that yet. However, it doesn't mean that things are naturally falling apart. It does not mean that things get worn and broken and slow down and stop functioning. It does if we haven't been looking after ourselves, if we haven't been tending to the way that our bodies work best or the way that our minds work best, if we haven't been doing the equivalent of taking those bikes out and running the engine and listening to how it's running and then tinkering with it so that it actually gets back to how it's supposed to run. Many of us don't do that. We wait until something has already broken and then we look at it. So I would encourage you to just separate those two things in your head, or start to do that. Yes, you're getting older. No, that does not mean that it is inevitable that your health starts unraveling. It will only mean that if you have been borrowing too much from your bank, basically, and not paying any back in. So I'm aware that some people will, by doing that, by telling themselves that, oh, that's because I'm getting older, that might mean that actually you're ignoring things, that you're just sweeping them under the carpet and going, well, getting older now, and not doing anything at all, which in my view is not productive. But I would ask you, how's that working for you? Or it can mean, and I have a lot of experience of friends of mine thinking in this way, that even though they haven't actually taken a lot of medications, pharmaceutical medications in their lives up until this point, there is a belief that because I'm getting older, I now need medications. And it might interest you to learn that actually the elderly as a consumer group for pharmaceutical medicine is the second most lucrative group for pharmaceutical medicine, the first being cancer. So you might want to actually ask yourself, well, who benefits from perpetuating that story that because I get older, that means I start to break down? Because it's not true. And actually, I've got a couple of 80-year-old friends who are amazing. They are still traveling around the world, obviously not at the moment, but generally speaking, they would be traveling. They're pursuing their passions, whatever they are. One of them is an avid bird watcher. So she just goes all around the world looking for the birds that she gets great pleasure from, and just watching them and seeing them in their natural habitat. And she does not travel first class, I can tell you. She has been on some really hairy journeys, boat journeys and all sorts of things. Doesn't stop her. She feels fantastic. She said, if anything, she feels younger than she did, 20, 30 years ago. For me, I'm going to be 61 this year. Now, I don't consider that to be elderly. Some people do, though. Some people say, yeah, you're now in the group where you need to be taking medication. Well, my goal is to stay off medication, and I believe that should be everybody's goal. It shouldn't be a goal that you are on medication, because it may be appropriate for some people, and obviously that is a choice. And I am not saying don't have that as a choice, but don't think it's the only choice. There are lots and lots of other choices available to you once you start becoming conscious that this, whatever you're experiencing, may not be because you're getting older. It just means that your body is going, oh, I can't really do this anymore. Can you please put something in so that I can actually start working better? Now, that might be that you need to stop and have a good look at your diet, your nutritional needs, and that could be what you're eating, could be how you're eating. Definitely gut health is something to be looking at always, almost always. It could be some kind of emotional issue that you're carrying around with you, like a ton of bricks, and that it's wearing and tearing, and you need to resolve that in some way. It could be that some particular organ or system in your body has just run out of batteries and now needs some fuel put back in some way. And that's in essence what I do as a practitioner, but I also do that for myself. So, as I said, I'm going to be 61 this year. I can honestly say that I am healthier now than I was in my 30s and my 20s, for sure, absolutely for sure, because I mind myself, because I know what suits me and what doesn't suit me. I'm very conscious of what I'm eating, what I'm putting into my body, what I'm putting onto my body. I also am aware when I am running out of steam a bit, when I have been pushing myself a bit too hard. And I listen to what my body is telling me. I don't ignore things. I will see them as a sign, that part of me is going, hello, I need some help here. I don't think, ooh, that's inevitable. I'm getting older, so I'm just going to feel like this for the next, I fully intend to live another 20, 30 years. I don't want to live 20 or 30 years feeling stiff and achy and not able to do the things that I want to do. So part of doing something about that is to get out of the mindset that just accepts it as inevitable. So that's what I'm encouraging you to do, is to just become conscious of the number of times that you might be saying to yourself, oh, that's just me getting older. And ask yourself, is that okay? Is whatever you've experienced that's triggered you to think that or say that to yourself, is that something you want to continue putting up with? Or is there something you can do about it? Does it mean that you start to make choices in your life that mean that your life is sort of getting smaller and smaller? Because again, it does not have to if you don't want it to. So I just wanted you to just become as conscious as possible of that, to maybe introduce the idea that getting older does not mean that you're inevitably going to be falling apart, and neither does it mean inevitably that you're going to have to take a load of pharmaceutical drugs. Not at all. Because there are plenty of people out there who do not make those choices, who make different choices, and who experience their 70s and 80s and sometimes even 90s with full health, with vitality, with movement, and joy and happiness. And that's how I intend to live the rest of my life, as much as I can. And that is in my control, nobody else's. So that's what I wanted to encourage you to do today. So do let me know whether you agree with that or whether you don't agree with that, or whether you have any thoughts on that. I'd love to hear them. Pop them in the comments below. If you feel that you could do with a holistic health check of some sort, then do think about working with me. Click the link in the post of this video and you can experience some of my free products, videos, things like that, newsletter. or you can book a call with me and we can have a chat and I can answer your questions. So yeah, thanks for watching and have a fantastic May bank holiday. Take care. Bye.